On November the 18th last year, 2025, ST announced a major upgrade to STM32CubeIDE called STM32CubeIDE 2. And it was, let's just say, it truly rocked the community because they decided to split STM32CubeMX out from STM32CubeIDE, so it was no longer a part of it. I went so far as to say that ST created the world's first disintegrated development environment, DDE. I also called the decision monumentally stupid. And while that was harsh, I agree, but I stand by it. It was, in my opinion, a monumentally stupid decision. I posted a rant, which was, let's just say, not nice. And then shortly after, a couple of days after that rant, I did post the first STM32CubeIDE 200 tutorial, which was my video number 73 on the STM32 World YouTube channel. That means that release that they did rendered the first 72 videos that I made completely, more or less completely useless. They later updated to 2.1, and now I believe 2.2 is out, and it is still exactly the same. Now, in this video, I am going to substantiate why I thought this was a stupid decision and show you how this is still a problem almost a year on. So stick with this video to the end and you will know why. Hello viewers, and welcome to a new STM32 World Rant. And it is a rant. I'm still upset about this, so welcome. And as usual, if you like this kind of content, please do like and subscribe and comment down below. I would like to hear how you think about this. One thing that is important for me to stress is you have to look at STM32CubeIDE with a certain set of spectacles. It is not a professional team development platform for big embedded projects. I don't think it was ever meant for that. It was designed, it's a learning tool. I look at STM32CubeIDE as a learning tool. What was brilliant about STM32CubeIDE was you downloaded one file and then you had everything. You had the MCU configuration, you had the template code, you had pretty much everything you needed. You had a compiler, a flash tool, you had a debugger, you had it all right in one single download, and that was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, and in my opinion, STMicroelectronics completely ruined that setup. And now, 8 months later, after they did this, let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's go to Google here. Let's go to Google and search for STM32 getting started. Now we're talking about a search 8 months later, and look what shows up on the first page. My first STM32 tutorial, which is pretty much completely irrelevant today. And there are other, there is one here, and I checked most of them. I haven't found there's STM32 base project. I haven't found a single one that actually documents the new approach at all. This one is 6 years ago. This one, well, okay, ST's own might have been updated. This one was 3 years ago. It's definitely wrong. Mine is a year ago. Definitely wrong. It's actually almost 2 years ago. So all of these, they are all wrong. The blue pill also keeps popping up, which is quite annoying. Now, this day and age, people will probably not use searches anymore. They use AI, so let's try to ask AI how do you actually getting started? And here we have my tutorial number 1 is showing up again. It's wrong. It's a new one and it has been updated. But okay, choose your hardware. Fair enough. Except blue pill. But that's not ST's fault though, that people decide to clone their MCUs. But it is annoying. Black pill is a good idea though. Set up the software ecosystem. Okay, they do mention CubeIDE as a separate tool. Create your first Blinky project. Initialize the project. Open STM32 CubeIDE or CubeMX. Choose new STM32 project and select your model. Configure. This will not work with the new STM32 CubeIDE. You can still do it in CubeMX, but you have to do it in CubeMX first. Otherwise, you will never get to the actual project. And if we look down at the, oh, that's about it. So the point is that all these videos and all the tutorials 8 months later, and AI will still get it wrong. Now, is this a fluke? Is it just Google? And people do use different things. So let's have a look at what Duckduckgo is saying. Now, Duckduckgo is using, I believe they use Bing underneath. They get their data from Bing anyway. I don't know the AI part of it, but if we look at their explanation in Duckduckgo here, install CubeIDE, open CubeIDE, new STM32 project, select your specific, and finish the setup. Device configuration tool. It's wrong. It will not work. And same if we go to the videos, if we have a look at the videos, let's see what happened here. Now, I will give Duckduckgo or Bing credit for actually having my remake video up here before the original. Now, this was the original number 1 down here. And I remade that into a new one that actually follows a new approach. So this one is the new one, but the old one is still here. There is also a 200 video here that I made, but most of the other ones are wrong. They are too old, 6 years old, from, is that DigiKey? The videos are wrong. This is wrong. There's my other remake, but this one is still figuring higher in the search results. So, ST, you are one of the biggest. The reason why this is so monumentally crazy is that this is targeting beginners who hasn't got a clue, who before, oh, there's a tutorial, I download CubeIDE and bam, 5 minutes later you got a blinking LED, which is brilliant. No extra tools, no tool chains to mess around with. It's just, now professionals, they don't care. They will spend the time to actually getting their tool chains installed and up and working and all that. It's not a problem, but it is a problem for a beginner. Now, what you cannot ignore is that today's beginners in 6-7 years, they are the decision makers, maybe even shorter. Once they got some experience, they get a job where they become the lead developer or whatever. The boss come around, say, we need something that can do this. And you say, okay, I can do that. STM32, because I know them well and I had a good experience with them. So it is all good. Now, these guys, now the beginners, will have a horrible experience, and they will go on and they will find an alternative, whether that is ESP32 or Nordic Semiconductor or Raspberry Pi IP2350. They will go for that instead, because the tutorials are actually showing the right approach to doing things. I've checked RP2350, and even a lot of the tutorials for that is for the RP 2040. They still work, so it is okay. It is just a different MCU, and that's fine. There are not that many tutorials yet, but there are some. But this is, yeah, I think I've been saying enough. This is exactly my point. This is exactly why I originally said that this was a monumentally stupid decision. Don't render the tutorials that are out on the internet invalid, because it takes ages for AI and the internet to catch up on this. Sure, in 3-4 years, it'll be all fine. But what about the beginners that are actually trying to figure this out right now? They are lost. So, as usual, have a wonderful rest of the day. I guess even if you work for ST.